Hello, Kenny Barnwell.
Hey, what's up, Dan? Thanks for having me.
It is my pleasure. Thank you for being here today. So, Kenny, I'm gonna today. Kenny and are gonna talk about converting leads like an expert, and he's gonna share with us using the buyers B.U.Y.E.R.S method. I'm sure you can spell buyers. I thought I would spell the acronym for you, Kenny. And so
Thank you.
for the guest, Kenny's the co-founder and CEO of the Creator Circle, and he'll tell us more about that. And that's a knowledge broker agency that helps real estate agents, package their expertise and sell the heck out of it online because we don't want to say bad words. So sell the heck out of it. Welcome, Kenny. How are you today?
I'm doing well, and really, it's the heck out of it because I'm from Georgia, and so that's
Hey,
just
all
the
right.
vernacular. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, man. I got you. What part of Georgia are you from?
I'm from a small area west of Atlanta called Villa Rica, the city of gold. Man, I grew up on a dead end dirt road out there in the sticks.
Well, you know what? I think growing up on a dead end dirt road in the sticks qualifies you to be an expert in real estate sales as a foundation fundamental thing. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So tell us, what is buyers?
Well, the B.U.Y.E.R.S method is a system that we developed to really, honestly, we created to help real estate professionals like agents and investors be able to develop digital assets like education assets that they can sell themselves. So the B.U.Y.E.R.S acronym, it's an acronym, and it stands for brand assets, your unique program, your lead magnet, your elite society, research content, and system and scale, which we can kind of go over each little component. We mainly use the B.U.Y.E.R.S method to again help agents and investors create digital assets like education, businesses, not just real estate, but the power is behind the expertise. And so I want to kind of help you understand the B.U.Y.E.R.S method on how that can help any real estate professional, even with regular buyers and sellers with properties, which could be cool.
Okay, so let's break that down. Buyers.
Yes.
While you were speaking, I had to get out a sheet of paper. Normally, I'm pretty good at just like having this memory with my guests of like being able to spit that back out at you. And I apologize. I'm a bad host today. Hit me up with that again. Let's start with the B and let's talk about the B. What is the B?
Yeah, so the B is your brand assets. You know, branding is such an important thing. Obviously, as an agent, as an investor, really, you know, the idea behind branding is a feeling that people get when they interact with you in your world. So it's anything from the colors that you have on your logos to the fonts to you know, just that overall, you know, kind of, oh, wherever someone interacts with you, they know it's actually you, you know? And so your brand assets are kind of like that first line of introduction oftentimes to somebody with you. And so it's kind of like that old saying, you don't get a second chance at a first impression. And so if someone's interacting with you on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or Clubhouse or wherever it is, your brand assets are the very kind of thing that blankets you and lets people know that, yeah, this is actually you that you're working with. And it's a relationship-based thing.
Got it. So brand is relationship. It's the colors that you use, the font that you use, the consistency that you use so that there's an identity. Do I understand that correctly?
That's right. Yep. Everything from your Facebook profile cover photo to your group to, I mean, every aspect should be kind of have that continuity to where when you interact, people know that it's you. And it's really no different if you're a real estate agent, for instance. You know, your brand matters so much. You know, if you're a specific agent under a certain broker, well, they have a brand that you work under and that you represent, right? And so there's no difference in that on your independent personal brand online. It's very important, and that's why it's the first step of the B.U.Y.E.R.S method to get right.
Are you sure that's why it's the first step of the B.U.Y.E.R.S method?
And because of B.
Well, otherwise it would be the Uber method if it was not the first step.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Tell me, Kenny, tell me about the U.
Yeah, the U is your unique program. And, with what we do we have a knowledge broker agency, as you mentioned, Dan. And what we do is, we help you real estate pros. By the way, I'm an investor, but I am not a pronounced guru of real estate. Okay. I just love real estate. I invest myself, and I understand that the expertise of real estate professionals is very vast, and there's a lot of need for people to be served in this community. So, which is why we love working with real estate pros, by the way. But, it's not the expertise that is going to really help you and your brand grow. Knowledge is not the power here. As Tony Robbins says, it's just the stored potential, right? Action is the power. And so really it's that you in the B.U.Y.E.R.S method is your unique program. Your unique program is so powerful because of the fact that it's you teaching it. You are the differentiating factor of how someone, in this case, your buyers or your leads turn into buyers, is the reason why they're going to really connect with you is because of the flavor of the delivery that you put on your unique program in whatever regard. Again, we create full-on coaching programs, full-on courses and stuff. So differently than say maybe what we're talking about here with agents helping turn leads into buyers, for instance.
Yeah. And so what I understand is so breaking that unique program apart would be first having a clarity on what your unique program is.
Certainly.
And then, as you mentioned, it's the action is the power, the knowledge is the opportunity for the power. And so I would assume that you would agree with the fact that it's being able to communicate effectively what your unique program is really sort of the key ingredient to the sauce. Because having unique power or unique program rather, and not communicating it effectively doesn't really matter. Would you agree with that?
Well, yeah. And also not really worrying about, and I'm sorry, I'm living downtown in the city. I'm not sure if you can hear that car revving, but anyways, the idea is to not feel like there's competition. And what I mean by that is, if you're a real estate professional, people work with you because of you. And so if you have an education asset that you're teaching somebody, say you're teaching, someone how to connect relationships with REO bank-owned properties, for instance, you can have the same exact education topic and expertise as someone else and not worry about competition, because not everybody connects with everybody the same way. Not everybody likes being taught by this person versus that person. And I see it all the time with my clients where someone will sign up for, say, like a wholesaling course of someone else, and then they'll come and purchase one of my clients' wholesaling course and go, I like you better. It's wholesaling. The principles are the same, but the teacher is different. So what I like to say is the reason why it's the U in the B.U.Y.E.R.S method is unique program is because it's different teachers, different classrooms.
Yeah. Tell us about the why.
Your lead magnet. Your lead magnet, man, it is so important to understand. And you guys know what leads are, obviously, in this community, but if you don't know what a lead magnet is, generally it's a piece of value add that attracts potential customers or potential buyers, right? And your lead magnet corresponds with obviously your unique program, but it's just important to understand that it's that first kind of thank you to whomever you're serving. You give them something of value that, again, it's branded. It's you, it's your vernacular, it's your delivery of the education bit that you want them to understand. And again, it's something that's necessary. There are so many people that come and work with me that have, say, courses, for instance, that teach something that don't even have a lead magnet. And the reason why it's so important is because, you're going to want to get a lead, right? So you can cultivate a relationship, which is what a lead's all about. And you do this through this value add component. So it might be a checklist. It might be a blueprint. It might be a 10-minute training. It might be a podcast here, It might be a one-on-one strategy session. Like, it just really varies, but it's important to understand that it's whatever you want to deliver that makes sense to you, that you can exchange for that email address or that contact information.
Got it. So it's just about having there's got to be a reason for somebody to be able to have an access to you as an agent. There's got to be something of value that you have to offer them. Otherwise, why would they give you their contact information? And so if you're thinking about that from like a sales perspective, it's the beginning of the funnel. And if you look at a funnel, a funnel is going to have fewer things coming out the bottom of that funnel than at the top. So you have to make sure that you have a reason to get many people into that funnel, and then provide value and contribution to them, so that it qualify them to be able to get them into an appointment. Would you agree with that, Kenny?
Well, that's right. I mean, speaking of just like straight up funnel kind of nurturing and cultivation, for sure, 1,000%. But understand that all of these components together are way more powerful than just something independently. And so, for instance, we talked about the unique program. Well, your unique program, if you're an agent, could be your lead magnet. It could be like a 5-video series of like how to repair your credit to get you to purchase, or, there's a variety of how to educate your buyers on purchasing a cosmetic rehab so they're not so afraid, and they can get a better deal with being able to understand that, oh, it's just paint and lighting fixtures and some things like that, right? Like, it's about serving the potential lead so they turn it into buyers. And you do this through that lead magnet. Don't just give a lead magnet that doesn't really do anything but is a business card for you. One great lead magnet for agents, I would say, is home valuations. If somebody can put in their information to get a home valuation in their area, because maybe they're wanting to sell their home, and then they see, oh, well, this is awesome, get a free valuation. They give you their name, email, and phone number. You give them something that they desire, and then the relationship begins. But then branding, education through some programming, that was the lead magnet, and so on. So.
Okay, education. Tell us about the E.
Yeah, so the E is your elite society. Now, this is actually a very powerful one for agents specifically. And let me ask you, Dan, agents, you have a lot of agents in your community here?
We do, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Because, in the agent world, and you guys know this, leads are not necessarily difficult to come by, but quality leads are hard to come by. You guys oftentimes spend thousands and thousands of dollars on Zillow and all of these different methods of lead generation. And the reality is it's a relationship-based game. You are on such thin ice to lose a lead because somebody else shot you a property or whatever it is, or you were looking on Facebook Marketplace and you found something else and then reached out to that agent. Like, it's hard to lose a lead when you begin to develop a relationship of the KLT factor, right? The know, like, and trust factor, which is very important. This is what this whole method is about building that, getting someone to know you, getting them to like you, and then trust you enough that you're their person, that you're their leader, their guide through this oftentimes stressful process. And you do that through the E, which is an elite society. And what I mean by that is, like what Dan here has, a community on Facebook, which is a great way to build this elite society. And the reason why it's an elite society is because you're serving them at where they're at. And so if you start a Facebook group and you start inviting potential buyers in, so let's just say, giving an example of what an elite society looks like. So it's a Facebook group. Let's just say that you're Oklahoma City agent. All right. Just randomly, you're an Oklahoma City agent. We'll start a Facebook group that's like Oklahoma City or Buy Homes Oklahoma City, right? It's very hyper geo-specific, and you're serving people in that niche. Well, then you begin to build your authority. It's branded, right? You in the unit section of your community, your elite society, you give a little bit of your unique program, your education bit, to help close their understanding gap. Maybe you give them a credit a tutorial. Maybe you give them a Oklahoma City market, education, training, like whatever it is. You really put your authority in there, and then you serve them. You begin to bring people in, and when you're that authority in your elite society, your leads are automatically going to question some other real estate person that comes out of left field from Zillow or wherever, because you have begun this relationship with them and they're in your society.
Yeah, I think investors would be a great society to have, or a neighborhood, geographic niche. Those would be some great societies that, if you're looking on Facebook for groups specifically, where you would get a lot of, I think, engagement and interactions, particularly for the local communities. I think that would be something for agents listening and watching for you to consider. So R, tell us about R.
Your research content. Now, this is actually, they're all very, very powerful, but this one is super powerful because we need to be able to develop relationships, right? And we want to do that organically as much as possible, because when you're buying ads and things like that, there's just a lot of variables and a lot of things that are out of your control. Now, most of the time when people create content, they just regurgitate the things that they know, and they just want to say, look at me, look how much I know about the Oklahoma City market, or look what I know about this, or look what I know about that. But the reality is there are people out there in all of these groups on Facebook that are asking the questions. They're asking questions on YouTube. They're asking questions on LinkedIn. They're asking questions on Facebook communities. You can literally go into these different groups and search your ideal customer and your ideal client, and they're asking questions. They're pleading for their questions to be answered. And most people, and you can do this, go into these groups, search something like, Oklahoma City real estate, and you'll come to find where people are asking these questions specifically, and people are just like not answering them, or they're giving them fluff. Hopefully you can find the answer following, because they don't know, right? Yeah, and so if you can be that authority where you go in there and answer those questions, then you end up being drawing them to your group for them to be able to come in there, and you can cultivate them and turn them into buyers. But another thing is engagement like crazy. So what we like to do, like with our clients and our agency, is we'll go in and we will do a whole, what's called the research content stack. And we'll research like 60 questions that are actually being asked in our ideal client's demographic. And then what we do is we'll have our clients film them. We'll have them literally film the answers to those questions. And look, these people are asking the same questions, what do can I get a loan with a 600 credit score? You may have said the same thing over and over and over again, but like if you film that video, you can then take that content and get a lot of engagement, because it's actually what people are asking, not what you assume people want to know. Because remember, it's like first language, third language. You speak the language like it's nothing. These people don't.
Yeah, it's interesting, Kenny, you're sharing that with us. We had a conversation with my real estate sales team this morning. That was it was almost like you were there with us today. And it was just, we're just having that conversation about our clients ask us the same thing over and over and over and over again. The processes are the same. The predictable problems are the same. Right. The predictable outcomes are the same. So you already have your content. If you're an agent listening or watching, and you don't know what to say or what to do a quick 1, 2, 3 minute video on, what was the last thing that a client asked you? That would be a great, just answer that question on video. Yeah. And then make it a because even like in today's day and age, it doesn't have to be produced at a high quality. No. If you can do it, great. If not, then, just get the content out there. Answer the questions is a great idea. What is the E, Kenny?
Well, and real quick before we move on, okay, to that point is, think about that. What does that do to your potential lead that has these questions? You immediately gain rapport with that person. You immediately connect with them. They go, whoa, is this person in my head answering that question? It's a really powerful thing to understand.
Yeah, and credibility and validity as well. So it's not just like a connection with rapport. It's also suddenly you're a valuable resource. Suddenly you're not an agent chasing me for my business. You're a professional that is providing me with something that I want, an answer that I don't have. And that's something that is tremendous.
Yep. And then they go, well, wait a minute. This person just answered my question before I even asked it. Let me see what else this person has. The goal is to get them into your world so you can serve them. And the cool thing about being an agent is, you can serve them to the max when it comes to education, which is what I love. That's why we're a knowledge broker agency. Like, you can teach people to the max, help them with their credit, help them understand the market, help them understand finishings and fixtures and dealing with how easy it is to hire a painter, right? So you can save on that house purchase, right? Yeah. Like, close their education gap and you'll serve them like crazy and they will not go anywhere else. In fact, when they see a house on Zillow or Facebook Marketplace or something like that, they reach out to you and they say, hey, I found a house that I love. And you go, okay, cool. I'll get you a showing. How
much easier does your job become in that place, right?
Yeah, exactly. They come to you because you're their person. They've already chosen you as their person, but it's very easy to lose these people. I got to tell you, I was actually looking at property recently down in Dunedin, Florida. My wife and I are going to move down that way. It's like just north of Clearwater. And man, it's like I have agents obviously hitting me up like crazy. And I have an agent down there, but man, it was like he was not serving me to the degree at which we wanted. And this lady reached out to me that same morning where I was kind of frustrated. And she was just like, hey, and it was just like out of left field. And I almost dropped the guy like that, even though he had built up a relationship with me for a few weeks.
And did you just realize what you just did? You just told a large group of real estate agents that you are in the market to buy a home. I just want to make sure you realize what you just did there.
Bring it on. Hey, listen, if you can find it, Dunedin, by the way, is a tough freaking market. We put an offer in on a duplex down there to do some house hacking, and there was more offers, and then we lost it with a full price offer. So such is the market. Right.
But the research content, what comes after research content?
It's the S. And the S in the buyer's method is your system and scale. Because let's be honest here, when it comes to like branding yourself as an agent, you got your Facebook cover and you got all your stuff and you got your group and you're working your group, you're welcoming members and, you need to create content, with the research content. Like what we would do with our team is we do YouTube videos and podcasts and we do all of this stuff, the square graphic videos with the text along the bottom, the captions, like there's a lot that we do, quote graphics and stuff. It can be time consuming and it can be robust amount of time. And look, you're busy already. I mean, you're crazy busy already. You agents are probably sitting there texting people from your bed at night right before you go to bed because that's just the nature of the business. And so the cool thing about being this authority online is you can literally hire assistants that can handle all of this stuff for you to where that you can really maximize your leverage, because that's what this is about. This whole buyer's method is leverage to get buyers and sellers in you guys' case, or in the case of my clients, to be able to get students for their programs. And so the system and scale it kind of goes like this. And I'll just kind of tell you a couple of things that we do very tactically, so you guys can maybe do this for yourself. But we have a whole team. I have a team of 15 people that work with us. And basically what we do is we have them welcome our clients, people into their group, their community. They tag them. They help cultivate those relationships. They research our content for us. They take all of our videos. They do all the editing. They create the square graphic videos with the captions, the quote boards. They do all of this. The ability to like duplicate or quadruplicate yourself, if that's a word, so you can continue to leverage this, because the more authority that you build and the more relationship that you build, the more return that you get. So for instance, one thing that we do is in these groups, okay, and this is just a one for instance, okay, we have a Google sheet that for each of our clients. And in that Google sheet, we have questions and answers. Now, remember when I said that people are asking the exact same questions in all of these groups, and most people are not answering them. Most people are just kind of like, hope you figure Oklahoma market out, or better put a over full price offer. It's like, well, that's not helpful. I'm trying to serve, right? And so when you set this buyer's method machine up, what we do is in our Google sheet, we will have my team go into these different Facebook groups for my clients, and we will have them search in the different groups for the questions that they can answer. Okay. And then, so for the first kind of month or so, when we onboard our clients, we have them answer these questions. So when they comment on these answers and they give value, don't tell people, come join my group. Don't download my lead magnet, nothing like that. Just give value. We copy and paste those answers and we put them into our Google sheet. And what this looks like is over about a 30-day period is we literally have all the answers in the voice of my clients to be able to systemize the audience acquisition into our community, my clients' communities. And so then after about that month mark, then we just set my team off and they'll go in searching for these same questions that are being answered, and they'll copy and paste little variances, but they'll copy and paste the answers that my clients put in to these certain specific questions. And what do you think that does? Imagine this. You get somebody to answer a question that's really helpful, more helpful than anybody else on your question. What do? Well, they look at your profile. And if you've got your branding set up on your profile that leads people into your community and into your freebie or whatever, they're going to get your freebie. They're going to come into your community because you helped them initially. And then this whole machine grows. The lead becomes a relationship. The relationship turns into a buyer. And
what's your biggest success story, Kenny? Tell us about a client of yours that had success, and what did that look like?
Well, one I love to talk about is we had this real estate investor called the Brandon Thompson with the REI Society. I did a case study on it. You can actually check this case study out on my site. But basically, he from nothing, he basically just kind of had a podcast called the REI Society podcast. Wasn't doing a whole lot with it. Was kind of doing some masterminds, some Zoom boot camps, things like that. Was making a little bit of money, but he wasn't branded at all. He really wasn't being consistent and didn't really have the assets to help serve, because that's what this is about, right? It's about helping people get from where they want to be or where they are to where they want to be. That's what education is all about. And he had some stuff, but not a lot. And so we onboarded him and we put him through the buyer's method and what we call our real estate educator accelerator machine. And it's a 90-day process. And just what we just talked about, branding him from his podcast to his YouTube channel, to his Facebook, to his group, everything started to rapidly grow. Within the 90 days, he was able to do 50,000+ in 90 days of student sales with a $1,000 course. Now what we've done is we've been able to take that program and turn it into 4 different programs. Now he's hit over 6 figures, but we're also transitioning into high ticket coaching to be able to maximally serve. But that's not even a success story. Like, that's amazing. That's awesome. He went from, having rentals and Airbnbs and doing 100 flips a year to having this 6-figure digital education asset. That's awesome. But what's really awesome is the messages that he's getting from his students, where he's literally changed lives. Like, you should see, I remember this guy, he was like, man, Brandon, I'm working 100 hours with my plumbing company. I signed up for your wholesale course. I did 2 wholesales in the first month. And now I'm in your fix and flip course. And we just banked $50K. And man, I'm thinking I'm just going to not do plumbing anymore and do this. And now fast forward 6 months later, the guy's got 3 Airbnbs. He's doing wholesales here and there, and he's got a bunch of flips going on. And Brandon literally just took what was in his head and his experience, put it into a program that's actionable and some coaching, and now literally has changed lives. So to me, that's the success story, to being able to help people make a massive change in their lives, fiscally, emotionally. He's talking about how his wife just, it's awesome.
That's incredible.
It's
I can
incredible.
hear and see the passion in your voice, and I
Awesome.
can see it on your face. That's incredible.
Yeah. So Kenny, that's one success story.
Thank you for sharing that success story. If I am interested in your buyer system, if I'm interested in understanding how to, how to heck out of online my knowledge. I don't know if that's a sentence or not. If I want to get my knowledge out there, the heck out of online, how do I get in touch with you, Kenny?
Well, you can see if you're interested at teachrealestateonline.com. We actually have the case study for REI Society. It's a 44-minute free training. The beautiful thing about being an agency is we can share everything. So we share everything. We don't actually have to, we don't have a course that teaches you how to build a course or anything. We do this with you. We do it for you. So teachrealestateonline.com. You can give me your email, watch the 44-minute training or not. And then there's a place right below that you can book a call with me or my team to see if we can help you out. We only take 2 clients a month because it's a very hyper-focused build out. So we literally from start to finish, we build out everything for you. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, we'd love to have you. Otherwise, I really want to encourage you to do this yourself, if nothing else. If you're not ready to build a coaching program, then go to teachrealestateonline.com, watch the training for the buyer's method, and see everything that we did for Brandon Thompson at REI Society. Check it out. It's really crazy powerful. And I want to encourage you guys to really put that stake in the ground, because that's how you're going to really create buyers from your leads, is to help them close the gap. Help them close the gap. Don't make excuses, because you can even create a free Facebook group with the units section and have a course. Okay. So it's not about software, about anything. It's about serving, because when you serve, they're going to become your clients.
Kenny, thank you for your time. You're awesome. I appreciate you sharing with us today.
Man, thank you for having me, Dan. I really appreciate you guys and the CPI community. It was awesome.
My pleasure.